installment of Jonathan Swift's rich saga of Lemuel Gulliver's turbulent adventures finds Gulliver landing on the strangest island yet. Having been asked to captain a ship, Gulliver leaves his family behind once again, with a very pregnant wife no less. Many of his crew members die on the boat, so he must recruit more along the way. This eventually backfires as the crew mutinies and become pirates. Eventually, the new captain orders Gulliver to be left on the first shore they find and leave him. Gulliver starts inland in search of the island's inhabitants. Instead, he finds some terrifying creatures that ultimately disgust him. Further down the road, he discovers Wynnums and follows one to its home, where he begins to learn about this new society while teaching about his own. This part of Gulliver's travels has two main themes: perception via role reversal and learning. It is also worth noting that this is the first adventure in which Gulliver genuinely admires his hosts and their society. A good portion of Book 4 is Gulliver comparing the Wynnums and horses back home, and the island's Yahoos and himself an Englishman. Gulliver is used to horses simply being animals. They have no means of reason, are less intelligent than humans, and can be trained to be subservient to mankind. This is not at all the case with the Wynnums. They all have a common language, live in homes with established families, and clearly have societies and class systems in place. In all senses but the physical, they are a civilization just like one would find in Europe. Gulliver is surprised by their intelligence and civility. The case is the same for the Wynnums. Gulliver surprises them. The Wynnums view him as just an advanced version of the Yahoos. They share the same body builds, same hands and feet, and very similar facial features. Gulliver is used to being a man of quality. He is proud of his hygiene, his education, and his status, much like the Wynnums. The roles here are reversed. Gulliver's blatant distaste for the Yahoos seems to be Swift's idea of how humans, or at least the Brits, are perceived by others, a stark contrast to their own inflated view of themselves. The other major theme of Book 4 is the aspect of learning. Most of Gulliver's time on this island is spent with his master, teaching him about his homeland and explaining their system of government and ethics. However, the learning started as soon as Gulliver arrived in the land of the Wynnums. When Gulliver first comes across a Wynnum, he is intrigued. He and the Wynnums study each other for a long time, and eventually another one joins them. The two greet each other and begin making noises back and forth. Gulliver deduces that they must be speaking their native tongue and tries to pick out words. He hears Yahoo multiple times, so he tries to emulate their tone and inflection. This seems to please the Wynnums, and thus begins Gulliver's lessons on the island. He and his master dedicate a great portion of their time together to learning each other's languages. His master even orders his family to help teach Gulliver whenever they get the chance. While they are still unable to communicate well, the Wynnums and Gulliver study each other. Gulliver notes their way of life, their social behavior, and what pleases and displeases them. The Wynnums study Gulliver's eating and sleeping habits, as well as his anatomy. Once they have finally learned to communicate well enough, Gulliver and his master have deep conversations that go on for days about life, ethics, European society, and Gulliver's strange Yahoos back home. Throughout Gulliver's travels, Swift has made a point of Gulliver being an exhibit. He was a giant used for military gain by the Lilliputians, he was a miniature curiosity to the Brobdingnagians, and he was overall displeased with the tyrannical intellectualism he encountered on Laputa. This is the first time in the novel that we see Gulliver's interaction with the natives as entirely cordial and coexisting. In the past, Gulliver has landed in places with very humanoid inhabitants who do not share similar mindsets to him. This time, Gulliver could not look more different than the native peoples, and yet he finds himself enjoying the experience and genuinely admiring the Wynnums. It is not too far-fetched to assume that Gulliver loves the Wynnums. Unfortunately, they end up deciding that Gulliver, as a sentient Yahoo, poses too great a threat and must leave the island. For the first time, Gulliver is sad to leave a new land and finds it hard to readjust to life back home. In the end, he basically abandons his family to become a recluse. He clearly never got over the Wynnums because he spends his days in the stables conversing with the horses. This final part of Gulliver's travels was full of firsts. In the land of the Wynnums, Gulliver's role back home is reversed on him. He spends his time teaching and learning rather than being used. He loves the life he leads in the new land and is against having to leave. And for the first time, Gulliver does not jump at the chance for another voyage. The Wynnums stuck with him. I think Swift's ending was interesting. He reminds the reader that Gulliver's original purpose was to discover if there were any lands which the crown should acquire, and states that none of them should be invaded. Oddly enough, Swift used the final chapter to take some of Gulliver's relatability away and to garner him less sympathy, one final satire on the distancing of England from the reality of life.